So, greetings from a very windy London, and it's a pleasure to talk to you in what I hope is a sunny Mexico. I'm Eric Thomas. I was Vice-Chancellor of the University of Bristol and President of Universities UK, which is the equivalent of the body that you're having a meeting with today. And in 2003, I was asked by the UK government to deliver a report on how we would increase fundraising, philanthropic income to UK universities. The situation was that the UK government had a new white paper on higher education, and one of the aspects of the white paper was that they wanted a report on how to deliver increased philanthropic income, particularly Tony Blair, but the Labour government of the time saw that as a potentially increasing source of income to universities, increase their independence. And of course the higher education costs were rising to the government, and that's why fees have been brought in. So also philanthropic income was seen as part and parcel of that increasing income to universities. I was asked to chair quite a small working party, and we took evidence throughout the United Kingdom as well as a visit to 4 US universities, not Harvard or Yale, but universities that had just started fundraising in the last 10 or 15 years. And then we presented that report to the government of the day in about December 2003, and it was published in March 2004. The members of the task force were myself, Peter Lample, who was the founder of a very famous charity here in the UK called the Sutton Trust, Mary Blair, who was the Director of Development of the London School of Economics, and Tom Hughes Hallett, who had just been a significant figure in banking in the City of London and moved to become Chief Executive of a charity. And so in UK government terms it was a small task force, which meant it was able to be nimble and quick in its reporting. And as I say, it took evidence from the United Kingdom and from the United States of America. So we presented the report to the UK government in 2004, and essentially there were 3 messages in the report which are as relevant today as they were then. First is, it is a perfectly decent and reasonable thing for universities as charities to ask people to donate to fulfill their ambitions and their public duties. The second thing is that there is no magic bullet to fundraising. There is a well-described business of fundraising which has annual giving, major gifts, legacies, corporates, and there are ways of ensuring that you will get income from those various parts of the fundraising spectrum, and that if you invest in fundraising and you lead it properly, then you will see a return on investment. And in the United States of America, the very best fundraising officers actually have administrative overheads of about 5 to 8%, so they are returning almost 10 to 1 on the investment. And the final message, which is as definitely as relevant today as it was then, is you haven't got to worry about a giving culture. What you need is an asking culture. In other words, if you don't ask, you don't get. So the first thing to do is get out there and ask. If I had maybe one more message now, would be that I'm afraid that if you want to be a successful fundraising university, the president has to lead that, and the president has to be prepared to give significant amounts of time to fundraising, which may mean a slight change in your job, may mean you have to talk to your governing body about what is the correct way of your job being parceled up, but certainly successful fundraising comes right from the top, and the president has a major role in that. So how has it been 20 years later? Well, when the report was published, In 2003, we were getting about £400 million worth of philanthropic income in the UK universities, and most of that was from Oxford and Cambridge. Very recently, the latest reports over the last 2 years, case reports on fundraising in the UK, have shown about £1 billion worth of income. Substantial increases in the number of donations, the number of donors, and the value of those donations. And of that 1 billion, only about 400 million is Oxford and Cambridge now, so 600 million is other universities. And the basic message is that if you do the job properly, and if you lead it properly, and you're prepared to wait for a return on investment, probably about 3 to 5 years if you're starting from the very ground zero, you will see successful fundraising as long as you ask, and ask.